All right, guys. So now we're coming to the next part of the show where we're going into our extensive wellness section. And those of you new, I'd like to introduce to the one and only Ronald. Good morning, Ronald.
It's good morning, Robert.
Top of the morning to ya.
Top of the morning to you too.
Thank you so much for joining us today on The Breakfast Show. We have a lot of new listeners coming joining us today simply because of the 21 days in the upper room, and they're finding out, wow, there's a breakfast show. Wow, what's going on here? And they've been with us. And on Wednesdays, we have Petrina coming with the book analysis, and we have you sharing extensive wellness tips, right? And it's so important for us to take care of our health because many times, even though we get a lot of information buzzed around us, there are different levels of quality to the information. Would you agree?
Absolutely. It's these days more than ever. There's so much what Australians call bull dust going around that you don't know who to believe, right? So you need to go to a source that has been around for 30 years or more and been proven to be successful, and you stick with that source because they're rare. They're very rare.
Yes.
Right? You see, a lot of people from say the age of say 15 to 30 are wandering around in the wilderness, and they're in this job and that job, and they jump around, and they don't really have a focus on the direction they're going, and a lot of them don't have goals at all.
Yeah.
So that's why we set up our wellness advice, which encompasses not just nutrition, but it encompasses mental health, better sleep, physicality of your muscles, and this is not being vain. It's not being vain at all. It's taking care of your temple.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the key. Right? You've got the inner temple and you've got the outer temple.
That's
so
it.
You got to have both, right?
Absolutely.
And the other thing that's fascinating is that when I've proven this again and again and again, you could have 3 or 4 degrees, right? 5 degrees, and be very highly qualified with paper. But when you go to a job interview, the person who's interviewing you, they look at your energy.
Yeah.
They're very clever. They look at your energy, and you might have 4 degrees, and you're highly qualified for this job. But if your energy is low, you've got skin problems, your hair's falling out because you're not taking care of yourself, guess what? You're going to miss out on the job. Yeah. Somebody comes in without a degree, but really full of vibrancy, full of energy because of what they're eating, what they're taking care of. Guess what? They get a job before you.
Absolutely.
So today,
man looks at the outward appearance. That's why, isn't it?
Well, that's exactly right. But that's the way it works in business. So people are really smart. They will look at your character, right? And they would, but they're also very much influenced by the outer appearance, how you dress, the color matching, right? For example, I see people go to interviews with like brown suits on, right? Brown suits with a blue shirt, and a red tie, just like.
So there's a tip, guys. If you're going in for an interview, don't do that stuff. Consider that how you market yourself. Yeah. All right. So what we're going to be looking at today, Ronald, because I know you've had 50 years in this industry.
Yeah, you're right. So one of my absolute favorites, not just for its taste but for its benefits, is what is commonly known as coriander.
Coriander.
Coriander, right? It's pronounced coriander. Coriander, right? It's Coriander. Right?
Okay, Petrina's been very kind. She's putting certain words that we've been spoken about today. She's putting it in the live chat, which is great. Yep.
Okay. So coriander is known throughout Europe as coriander, but in America, I've been to California and other places like that. They know it more as cilantro. Cilantro. It's the same thing, right? They just call it a different name. Cilantro is more Italian name, but coriander is probably the European type approach. It's like in Australia we call zucchini, we call courgette zucchini.
Yes.
Zucchini. Right?
Yes.
So, but here it's courgette.
Yes.
Like eggplant, just briefly eggplant. We call it eggplant, but here it's aubergine.
Yes.
So it's all influenced by the European type like I said, like France will dictate aubergine. See?
Okay.
So coriander is an amazing change of herbs, right? Mm-hmm. I've used it with chicken. I've used it with lamb, turkey, fish, salads. And at the end of this, I'm going to give you a really good recipe using pineapple, mango, sea salt, olive oil, and coriander.
Okay.
And you're going to love it.
And you know what's interesting about coriander is that I am familiar with coriander being used in Asian dishes. Yeah. When there's an Asian curry chicken curry, I see them using coriander. So this is going to be interesting to know what that coriander is actually doing that we might not know about.
Yes, that's right. Well. So the reason why coriander is so good is, look, I've tested about every herb you can imagine. I've tasted it, so I've grown a lot of it. Mm-hmm. But coriander is a really unique flavor. It's a totally unique flavor compared to mint or say thyme, right? But one of the things I found with coriander, if you're going to use coriander, you shouldn't mix other herbs with it.
Okay.
Because the mixture doesn't work, right?
Got it.
For example, if you put thyme and coriander in the same salad, it's like you say, what the hell is this? You know, you don't get the right assimilation.
All right,
but when listeners. You put coriander as herbs on its own, it really takes that dish to a high level. Right?
Okay.
Now, so one of the primary reasons to use coriander, it is very, very powerful using the leaves, the stems, and the seeds and the roots. You can actually grow your own coriander. You can use the root as well, and so the roots is more tougher than the leaves. But if you're cooking, say, soup or say chicken, and you're going to stir fry it for a while, you can get the root system. Of course, remember, if you take the roots out of your plant, the plant will no longer be alive. You know, like it won't grow again, right? So preferably grow a lot, and then you can use some dishes with the roots.
Okay.
Maybe 1/4 of your herbs, right? Let's say you got 30 plants. 1/4 of it can be used for taking the roots, eating the roots with it, and then the other ones would be just the leaves, and then they come back and they come back and they come back.
Gotcha.
So now, believe it or not, at the moment.
Sorry, I've just got here. Fatima says coriander with mushrooms is just succulent.
She's right. She's absolutely right. But what you do is now this is a really interesting point. If you cook mushrooms with cilantro, very important, cook the mushrooms to about 78% to 80% of its, like, in other words, cook it down. In other words, soften it. Yeah. And then you add the coriander.
Okay.
Only then.
So cook the mushroom first, and then once it's cooked down to about 70% of it, add it after. Okay.
I'll tell you why. It's very interesting. I'll tell you why. If you cook the coriander at the same time as you cook the mushrooms, the mushrooms will be quite high temperature, and then when you put the coriander in at the same time, the coriander will wilt, and the flavor will not be the same.
And you'll lose you'll lose the life and the nutrients inside of it.
Exactly, because you apply too much heat.
Yeah. So what kind of benefits could the coriander bring to our bodies then?
Oh, well, one of the main I'll tell you more in a minute, but one of the main benefits is removing what we call edema, OEDEMA, right? Edema is retention of water.
Okay.
And you see a lot of women a lot of women past 30. We see that in our practice. Past 30, we've got tremendous amount of water retention in the calves and the ankles.
Okay, so that's when your calves or your ankles, they start to get fat, right? It looks fat and almost jelly-like, but that's water retention.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
I've seen that in quite a few of aunties and mamas as well. So this is a huge one, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you the main reason why that happens. First of all, they're eating all the wrong foods like white rice, white potato, white starchy foods, and that puts a lot of stress on your kidneys and your liver and all that. And so, and then also they're drinking things like the fizzy drinks and and tap water, and so all of these things contribute to the water being retained in the ankle, foot, toes area.
Wow.
Okay?
So if you've got this family, universal family, pay attention to this one. Yep.
Yeah. And so, and it is a very dangerous thing to do, because when you see the swelling of water around from the knee down, right, it'll be very prevalent in the ankle. It'll be quite, it'll be about, sometimes it's like 2 times or 3 times the normal size of the ankle, but it'll be that big. Right? So you know straight away that person's got a problem with their kidneys, right?
Okay. Wow. So that's also a sign of what's happening in our kidneys. It could be used as a sign.
That's right. And people don't listen to me. They end up in dialysis. You know what dialysis is, right? They've got to drain the water out of you. And dialysis, you've got to get in the machine 3 times a week, 2 times a week.
That's not easy.
You have to put needles in your arms and suck the water out of you and put all kinds of chemicals in you.
Yeah.
It's a very dreadful disease, right? So, but that leads, the retention of water leads to dialysis.
Okay.
And I've seen plenty of people with dialysis at the age of 30, 35, 40.
So
right?
coriander is a huge one to help.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's brilliant for the kidneys. And in actual fact, if you eat a lot of coriander, when you pee, you can actually smell the coriander coming out of it.
Really?
It's amazing. That's strong. Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh my God. So would you recommend someone to do a coriander fast?
Yes, I would. But I'll tell you what you do. Don't just do coriander only, right? If you're going to do a fast, I'll tell you what you do. Let's say you have a juicer or a blender. This is what you do. You put cucumber with the skin on, right? You put about like 1 small cucumber, like a little Lebanese type cucumber, one of those. You put about 3 stalks of celery, organic celery. You put about a cup of spinach, a cup of kale, and a bunch of parsley.
That sounds powerful.
A bunch of coriander. Very powerful.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? Sorry, for our listeners, Shad, if you can get a picture of the coriander, and just put it on the side so everyone can have a look at it, that'd be really good. Because some of you people thinking coriander, and maybe you've got it right next to you, like especially those of you who are abroad and outside of Europe, you probably growing outside your house, and you're like, you know what I mean? Let me kill that weed. All right.
Exactly. So in addition to the reduction of water around your ankles, you know, that is so important what I'm saying, because when you see that in a patient, right, you know straight away they've got kidney problems, right? And you know straight away it's going to put pressure on the liver as well. Yeah. And then this goes all the way up to the spleen on the left, on your pancreas, your stomach, and your liver. All these are going to be affected. Yeah. So just by using a fair bit of coriander on a regular basis, you're gonna see the water leave your legs, right? Okay. And because people, the reason why there's so much water retention is because people eat too much starch. That's true. In other words, like they eat things like white potato, pizza, white flour, white bread, white rice. All of those white potatoes should not be sold. Okay, it's just starch, pure starch.
So we've got it on the screen. We've got an idea of what the coriander looks like on the screen right now. You may have seen it in your local shop or whichever. Shad is just adjusting it to put it onto the lit plasma TV in the background, but just for you to see. And how easy is it to grow?
Well, you know, that's a very interesting question. I had a lot of trouble growing coriander because my soil wasn't rich enough. Okay. The coriander is a very, very demanding plant in terms of what it requires to grow. So you've got to put about probably 2 years of work. If you establish a raw virgin garden and it's just like dirt, right? Yes. It takes 2 to 3 years to establish the compost and quality of the nutrients in the soil. And you've got to turn your soil black. I mean black. Wow. Right? And the coriander grows very well in that. Very, very well. Okay. It doesn't like poor soil. It does not like it. So you have to grow it in very rich soil. Like I said, you got to be patient, work the garden, establish it.
Excellent. So you can see it behind me here. All right. But you know what's interesting, guys, is that there are those of you who are listening who are in Africa, who are in Asia, who are in Australia, and you ain't like Europe. You got some good soil. All right. So start looking at it. Start looking. You know, those of you mamas in Namibia and in South Africa, and you got the water retention and you're having to kind of deal with it. You're having to deal with the water retention. Ronald is showing you something that can actually help you holistically, adding to your diet that you can prepare, which will help with this and also help you with your to help clean your kidneys as well. Right?
That's right. You're right. The correct term for what coriander does is called diuretic. D-I-U.
Okay.
R-E, like diuretic. In other words, it helps you to eliminate excess water.
Okay, right? Excellent. So look, Ronald, because of the time, we're going to have to go into the recipe. Yep.
Sure.
Because I know everybody's seeing coriander differently now. All right. And also, as well as seeing coriander differently, we're seeing herbs differently. And this is what we do on the Breakfast Show on Wednesday. This is what Ronald brings to the front of the table. Okay. So what have you got for us, Ronald?
I'll just give you a quick reasoning for that recipe, and it is a really, really powerful recipe because I don't think many English people would know how to mix that, because they tend to either eat one or the other, right? But I'll tell you the recipe. And the recipe is particularly good when you're doing a barbecue.
Yes.
Right? So if you're eating, say, some lamb or some turkey or some chicken on the barbecue, that would be your protein side of it.
South Africans in the house, barbecue, Australians in the house.
Yes, exactly, yes. And so people often eat far too much meat at the barbecue and not enough digestive aids. So in other words, you eat a lot. Let's say you could be spending all our Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon with a group of friends, right? And you're eating, so maybe meat, lamb, whatever. Right? So what happens if you eat, and they tend to eat a lot of sausages and so on. That's not good, because you're going to be sitting there drinking beer, whatever, and it's just going to clog you up.
Yes.
Now, what you do, if you're going to eat protein at a barbecue, afterwards, there's a recipe. This is enough for about 4 people. Okay, 4. So 1 pineapple, good sized pineapple, right? But the pineapple must be ripe, okay? But not green, not overripe. Yeah. But ripe, okay? So there's a way to do that. You pull the leaves. You pull the leaves from the top. If they come out, it means it's ripe, but then you bend the pineapple to where the root is, you smell it. If it smells ripe, done. That's the one you buy.
Okay, gotcha.
So 1 whole pineapple, okay, and 2 mangoes, ripe mangoes. So 1 whole pineapple, 2 mangoes.
It's already sounding good, yeah?
It is. So and then you get a sharp knife, like a samurai knife, and you cut the skin off the pineapple, and you put it in chunks, like 1 inch chunks, like 1 inch. So it's easy to do. You just cut the sides and then you just cut them into chunks, right? Now, don't try and cut it small. Just put it in chunks, because otherwise you don't want to disintegrate. Chunks, right? And then you put 2 mangoes. You peel the mango fully with a sharp knife, and then you slice it. Again, you chunk it into about 3 centimeters an inch, right, as well. Yep. Right. So you mix the pineapple and you put the pineapple in first. Then you put the mango on top, and then you get 1 shallot and 1 red onion.
Okay.
What's a
shallot?
Shallot is like an onion, but it's like a long onion. Right? It's like onion can be red or white or beige, but a shallot is more like a banana. Looks like a banana.
Okay. Right? Can you use an onion instead of a shallot?
No, you better use both, because shallot's sweet.
Okay.
Onion is more like sour tart. Right? Okay.
Here's my friend Google. Yep.
Yeah. Shallot, right? Shalot. Yep. Shallot, onion, and so you can also put some spring onion in it. And then you put about a cupful of coriander chopped up really fine. I mean, really, really fine. And then you put that in that mixture, and then you put about 1 teaspoon of my favorite, sel de Guérande, right? Which is with the salt that comes from the west of France. Okay. Sel de Guérande, and then you add Bragg's. You put 1 tablespoon or 2 of Bragg's apple cider vinegar. right?
Yes.
And then you put about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil,
Ooh.
quality.
Yes.
Okay. You mix it all together, and then you have that after you've had your barbecue.
Okay.
So you eat all your meat, and then you add that. Guess what? Within 2 hours, your food is digested.
Okay.
Exactly.
Now, listen, this is important because what the recipe that Ronald's given us just now is making, it's not food, it's not a dessert. Actually, it is, but it's actually medicine to help your body.
Well, I tell you what, you're quite right. It can be seen to be a dessert, and people will see it as a dessert. But the dessert to some people is like trifle and cream.
That's right.
Or some apple sauce with cream or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But this is like more like a salad.
Yes.
More like a salad, but it's more of a digestive and a diuretic.
I'm on that program. I'm on that program. Guys, I have to stop there, guys, because I hope you're getting the idea of what we're doing here on Wednesdays with Ronald. You've just, especially we have a culture where we eat a lot of meat, long term, like I'll speak with Pastor Michael Lewis. He's saying like funerals are so common over in Africa. Yeah, he said he was talking just before the breakfast show started after they finished the upper room at dawn, and a lot of it can be traced to our diet that we're doing, that we're practicing over time. So what Ronald is showing us ways to work to help ourselves with what we already have. Those of our universal family abroad in the African, Asian, or other continents, you have a really good advantage of having really good soil. We just need the knowledge on how to take advantage of that.
Exactly.
Now, Ronald, please put in the link because I know you're going to be on Facebook this afternoon at 1:30 UK time, GMT time, right?
No, today will be 6:30 p.m. Just for today because we've got something else at 1, which is clashing.
Yeah. So we're gonna just put on the live chat for you to follow. Some more stuff. They're gonna develop the subject even further because we haven't had much time this morning. And you can ask questions to Ronald Petrina. They have an amazing YouTube channel, so they're gonna put that all in the live chat right now. So in the meantime, Ronald, I just want to thank you for what you shared with us today. Because I know you've got so much more there, but we've had to cut because of the time.
That's fine. But definitely would love to get some feedback from people who try that recipe.
That's it. All right, guys. So that's it. So Facebook.com/Planet Wellness Iridology, and that'd be great. Also, if you didn't catch all the information or you do catch up, you've got the Breakfast Show WhatsApp line, and we can connect you over to them. But definitely catch that one 6:30 tonight. Check them on YouTube. Planet Wellness. I've been enjoying their videos on YouTube as well. But it's all to take care of your health. God made man from the ground. So guess where our maintenance is? In the ground. And sometimes you might need a physical body MOT because we've done so many things that we learned that were wrong, and you need to go and see some good solutions in the ground. Yeah, it can be that simple.